Today we are back again with another Meet Robots podcast. Today we're going to be following up on our 10 worst people at the gym with our 10 favorite people at the gym.
Yeah, we did the people we think suck the most, and we don't want everyone thinking we're just cynical, negative people. We want you guys to know that we do have a lot of people that we really respect at the gym.
Which is probably the number one reason why we go to the gym in the first place. I mean, we were inspired by people who work out, and that's kind of why we got into it in the first place. So there's obviously people who we do admire and we want to see more of.
Yeah, so first and foremost, like us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
And without further ado, let's get number 10.
What is number 10? What's it say right there?
Number
the regulars,
10,
right?
Regulars. We like people who are coming in the gym, the guys we see every day or every time we're in there. They're always there.
You know what? Sometimes if you go to the gym at different times, sometimes if I go at like noon or sometimes I go at 5 p.m., I see the regulars at the noon o'clock session, or I'll see the regulars at the 5 o'clock session.
Oh, yeah.
So it always changes no matter where.
Sometimes it's
what
like
time.
every time I go on like a Friday, I go at this time, and it's a totally different crowd than my usual 6 p.m. Regulars.
Sometimes you even switch gyms too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm all over the place. So yeah, number 10 is just the people who are consistent, the people who are grinding, doing their same jazz.
That's like one of the number one things when it comes to working out and getting better in anything really. Persistence, dedication, just chipping away at it and just making sure you're keeping in there and making progress.
No doubt. Consistency's huge. So number 9. Number 9 goes to anyone, male, female, or otherwise, who likes to wear short shorts.
Yes. For the women, short shorts, obviously, because we're men, we do like that look. That's kind of an obvious thing.
Just pleasant to look at.
But showing off the big quads.
Yeah, basically, if you're a dude and you want to cover up your quads,
it's probably because you don't train them very hard.
You might not have fantastic quads.
Although, even if you do have giant quads and you wear like regular length basketball shorts, they hide them tremendously. It's so hard to judge.
If you're confident enough in your quadzillas to let them breathe, show them off to the world, we salute you.
It also makes squatting a lot easier if they're not like
catching on
your knees.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, I'm a big proponent of wearing short shorts. So
just the day you went to the gym and you were in those spandex, really tight ones.
Oh hell yeah! And wear the little compression shorts.
Yeah.
I like my quads, and I think everyone else will too.
Number 8. This one has a little bit of caveat. If you're doing any lift with 4 plates, probably excluding the leg press though.
Yeah.
Probably most machines. Then
if
you're pretty legit.
4 plates on each side. You're pretty legit.
Yeah, this is pertaining mainly to barbell movements.
I'm pretty stoked anytime I see 4 plates moving when I'm at the gym. I will stop what I'm doing and I will watch because you don't see it every day. It's actually something that you might not see for a matter of weeks.
Yeah. Whether it's deadlifting or squatting is really cool. And if you see it on bench, the dude's probably a freak.
Yeah, of course, like, there are beasts that's nothing to.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And I love those guys. So if you're moving 4+ plates, and of course all of these things are there is a little bit of a catch. It's not unconditional. These are the top 10 ranking. It's if you're doing it right.
Yeah, these are all if you do things right. If you're squatting 4 plates, it's got to be to depth. And what makes it so good? I mean, obviously we said 4 plates is nothing compared to elite athletes like powerlifters, but these are people we see in commercial gyms, just everyday gyms where the average human is going to be, and most people do not train hard enough to reach 4 plates in their life. So when you do, those are usually the most serious people in that gym.
Yeah, so it's awesome. Keep it up, 4-plate movers.
However, if you overhead press 4 plates, then you're automatically our number 1 favorite.
Yeah, that's freak beast status.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's strict pressed 4 plates.
There's definitely dudes that can
Yeah?
strict press 400. They're like, I want to say it's like strongman guys.
Yeah,
For the most
probably.
part. All right, so number 7, the old strong men. So this one goes out to all the guys who have been lifting since pumping iron came out.
Yep. They may or may not have the best lifting advice. Sometimes they really have really good tried and true methods. Sometimes they
Sometimes
have
it's
really
outdated
weird stuff. Yeah.
Stuff that science contradicts nowadays.
But it's always nice to see an old person. It doesn't really even have to be a guy, but someone who's above the middle age mark. Typically people will just give up at that age. Say, I'm too old to do this. But then you see these people who are in their 50s, 60s, probably even like some 70-year-olds who are just killing it in the gym, pushing hard, digging deep, and looking great.
There's guys that must be like in their 60s that are just huge and they have big arms and they're strong as hell, and it's just from a lifetime of training with weights.
And that's pretty good. I mean, that's going to be very important when they do get super, super old.
A lot of them have just big old guts, but
Yeah,
their
huge
arms
guts.
Are enormous, and that makes up for it.
Let's see. Number 6, girls who lift. This is typically a good thing because generally girls are going to be really into that cardio. Lots of treadmills, stair steppers, maybe a little bit of tiny little pink weights. But it's not very. It hasn't been very popular until recently for
We don't
girls to
wanna
actually do
generalize.
resistance training.
but
But in general,
there are definitely cardio bunnies out there, and as we said, they're one of our least favorite.
yeah,
So you take that and you flip it on its head, and you take someone a girl who trains and ignores like I'm gonna get bulky, or the traditional standards of like guys do weights, girls do cardio.
yeah.
When people are breaking that mold, and not in the flip side, we don't want to see guys just being cardio bunnies either.
But there's this general idea that girls, it's just not in their favor to lift heavy or do any sort of like real resistance training, when really resistance training is the best way anyone can train.
It's where the physique is built. For real. Like you can lose weight through cardio, but you can't really shape your body. So it's been a cool thing to see. Like
It's a lot more popular now.
Powerlifting. That's one thing that I think CrossFit has done well, is it's inspired a lot of girls to lift heavy and
Now you see
work
a lot
big
more
movements.
a lot of powerlifter females, which is cool.
Yeah, but that's the coolest, is like the power lifters and the Olympic lifters. I think it's so cool when you're going in the gym and you're lifting for a strength goal or a power goal or something athletic.
Yeah.
Next up, we're at number 5 now,
Yep.
and that is going to be the clean bulker.
Yeah. So a lot of times you'll see people that will get into that bulk phase. They'll get pretty puffy and they'll try to cut the weight down and then try to reveal the muscle they built underneath that fat layer.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are just puffy and they're gonna say, "Oh, I'm bulking," when like, dude, you're always bulking.
Yeah.
And when you cut, you quit. The lean bulker is the just super aesthetic dude. He's always growing, never
Gains like
fat.
gains like 7 pounds a year.
Like, oh yeah, but it's like the most solid 7 pounds.
Always lean, always shredded, always looking close to stage ready.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And that's like the most sustainable way you can go about it.
one like local example, Kyle Glickman. This man just in the middle of his growing phase did a show. He didn't like prep for it at all. He was just like that close to show ready, just in the middle
Hops
of
on
growing,
stage.
and he hopped on stage at last minute notice. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's the way to do it. I mean, that's shows really calculated, like a regimented lifestyle. Like he knows exactly what he needs to do to complete his goal, and it's the most efficient. Like he doesn't waste any time.
Yeah, because I mean, you're gonna lose muscle if you're gonna cut down. It's almost inevitable.
Yeah.
That you're gonna gain a little bit of fat growing, and you're gonna lose a little bit of muscle cutting down, no matter how good you are about it. But if you can make it such a small amount of fat gained while you're growing, you never need to cut.
Yeah, never need to cut.
Barely. So, good job, clean bulkers.
Yeah, nice job. Number 4. Anyone who does a big lift with proper form. And I mean, this kind of goes, again, everything we were talking about are people who do it right. But this is especially important. When you go into the gym, you see someone doing like a squat, and they hit parallel or they go below parallel. That's really great to see. Most of the time, you won't see that at all. In fact, we were at the gym in Brockport one time, and we were squatting, and this kid comes over, and he's like, "Hey, Gray, you're squatting pretty low there." So Gray has to reply, "Well, when it comes to powerlifting, like squatting to parallel or a little bit below that's what makes it a rep count. If I don't squat to parallel, then it's not even a squat in powerlifting." And then he has the guy responds with like the usual quip about, "I don't know, man, it might be bad for my knees, it's scary, blah, blah, blah."
The knees cop out. Yeah, it is going to put more stress on your knees to go lower in a squat.
Not if you're doing it correctly for the most part. A lot of that weight sits into your hips.
Yeah, but I definitely do feel it more in my knees the lower I go. Because, I mean, it's just more bend in your knees, more motion. But, I mean, yeah. I won't say that squatting deep is for everyone. But I will say that quarter squats, eighth squats,
most people
those
can
are
probably
for no one.
Most people can hit parallel, especially if they're our age. They're going to have the...
or at least like a 90 degree just above parallel kind of thing. There's people who don't even hit like 90 degree knee bend.
No.
And that's just garbage. That's... Get on the leg press, man. Give me my squat rack back.
Yeah, they need to dig deeper.
And I mean, like the same goes, like you'll see some atrocious bench pressing. You'll see some just disgusting deadlifts. And don't even get me started on the clean and jerk. What I have seen, just people catching this bar straight on top of their forearm. Just elbows aren't getting forward at all. Or even worse, some people are like, they call it a catch and their hands are like in front of their elbows.
Yeah.
And it's like all just bicep and brachialis.
I mean, no matter what your trade is or your interests, your hobbies, there's people who do it right who you respect a lot, and then there's the people who don't do it right and you don't like them. It could be anything.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're doing big lifts, if you're doing squats, deadlifts, bench press, clean and jerk, snatches, brush up on your form. Watch a few videos. Yeah. Because I'm not doing them perfect. I think
Talk to us. We'll help you out. If you got any questions, we'll be able to give you some feedback. We're both personal trainers here, so if you want to get a session, shout out to us.
Yeah, just check it out. Video yourself. Look in the mirror.
Number 3, we like legitimate athletes. Anyone who goes in there goes into the gym with a specific athletic goal. Maybe you're a football player, maybe you're a power lifter or an Olympic lifter. But typically, these people are going to take their training a lot more seriously. Sometimes they don't. There's people on sports teams who don't.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, like someone who's like, I got a game coming up, I got a tournament coming up, this, that, the other thing, and they're like well calculated and they're approaching their exercise as they need to go get that medal or that win or whatever they're looking for. That's awesome. When you're like really cracking down towards an event, really cool to see. Maybe you're running marathons. Like if you're doing things that are going to help you push towards success in your marathon, it's awesome. Love to see it, no matter what sport. Even if it's like golf.
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Let's see, number 2, we have the incognito freak. This kind of pertains to bodybuilders. They're lifting for the feel.
I mean, it could
be anyone, really.
It could be anyone. But I mean, it's the guys.
They might wear a big hoodie or sweatpants. You can't really see their physique underneath the clothes they wear.
I would say these guys have like mastered like the modesty, the humbleness of like they're training towards a goal. They don't care what you think of their training.
They already know that
they're just getting results.
Yeah.
They're working at it. So like it's maybe the power lifter who's lifting very submaximal in a very calculated way, and you don't realize that this dude's strong as hell because he's working with submax weights. It could be the bodybuilder who's just wearing his sweats every day, but then one day they just open it up. The sweats come off. They
test their 1 rep max or something.
Test a max, like, and these dudes are insane. Like, so like you didn't realize this, but this dude is like shredded. We're looking at like Mr. Universe right here. You didn't even know.
The entire time you've seen this guy at the gym, he hasn't boasted about a single thing. You know, he just sticks to his guns, sticks to what he has to do.
Yeah, he's not trying to prove anything
he has nothing
in
to
training.
Prove, exactly.
He'll prove it later, though. So, or she.
Yes.
The incognito freak. We salute you very strongly.
That's my number 2 spot. But the number 1 spot is always going to be going to the gym and being with our friends or making friends at the gym, because it's a community thing. We want to link up to like-minded people. We like people who have the same kind of character traits who get in there. They're determined. We're all working towards a goal, and we're all supporting each other. And it's nice to be able to go to a gym. And, you know, not all of my friends go to the same gym with me, but when I can get a training session with Gray, I really enjoy it. Or when I can get a training session with somebody I usually don't train with, but I'm friends with, it's really nice.
Yeah, so just going to the gym, being with your buddies, having people that can really push you, really help you motivate yourself. It's really important to success a lot of times. And we talked with Zane a little bit about that.
Yeah, he.
I don't know if that was on the record or if that was just chatting.
I can't remember.
But yeah, like it's really, really beneficial to have people pushing alongside you, yelling at you.
You get exposed to new training ideas too.
Yeah.
See what works for different people.
I've learned so much just from the people at the gym with me, and I've made a lot of new friends and strengthened a lot of existing friendships through training with these people.
I mean, the first time Gray and I ever went to the gym was because we contacted each other like the night before, and we were like, hey, let's start working out.
Do you want to work out tomorrow?
Yeah, so then we got a membership at the YMCA together. And we've been training ever since.
We went, and we didn't really know what the fuck we were doing, but we figured it out.
Yeah,
over time. And I mean, like,
that was a long time ago.
The first couple of weeks, we were just kind of clueless. We're like, let's do this exercise. Let's do this exercise. Okay.
It worked too, as long as you put in the hard work.
Well, then my brother came to town. He was in town for a few weeks, and he showed me the program he was using. And it gave me a lot of structure. Like, I had no idea what I was doing.
I can barely remember, like, our first type of training sessions. I do remember Shane coming in, though.
But yeah,
I remember those types of workouts.
He showed me a lot, and I worked out with him for a little while, and, like...
We're pretty lucky that he was the one who showed us stuff, because he had a pretty good grasp on what to do. Like, he was showing us, like, solid movements.
Yeah, I've definitely strayed a lot from the original, program he put me on, but, like... That was like my base for a long time. That was what I was coming up lifting. Was just like in my brother's program and grinding through that for whatever probably like a year before I really changed it up much.
Yeah.
It's cool, and yeah, I just keep meeting other people and they show me this or that. And
usually, if you're new to going to the gym and you don't really know what to do, ask somebody. And chances are, they're not going to be a jerk about it. They're going to help you. They're going to want to help you. That's kind of how the gym atmosphere works. People always want to tell you their opinions on lift. Because, you know, I'll see people lift and I'm like, they should do things this way or whatever. Everyone's got their critique, their 2 cents to put in. So if you ask that, they're more than willing to be like, oh, I guess this is my opportunity to shed some light on some things I feel about.
Oh, and even like... I feel like honored almost. Like I'm stoked when people want to ask my advice because that's like, to me, that's like this person by looking at me figured that I knew something, or maybe they saw me wearing a trainer shirt.
Yeah,
and
that's
we're
true.
like, oh, his shirt says that he knows something, but he looks really weak. But I'll ask him anyway. But yeah, just like a lot of people are a little bit flattered even when you ask them advice, and they're like happy to give you their take on something. Definitely.
Yeah, general rule of thumb is if you have a goal,
But
you don't know how to achieve it, try to ask somebody who looks like they've already achieved your goal.
yeah, that being said, ask a couple people.
Yeah, ask.
Because you might get some different answers. But yeah, so that's our top 10. Tell us what you think about that. If we missed anyone that is just awesome at the gym, let us know.
Yeah.
And check out our social media. Check out our website.
If this is the first time you listen to the podcast, you're seeing it on Facebook, you're seeing it on the website. Go to iTunes. You can subscribe to this podcast for free.
Yeah, if
you can
you're-
also find it on your droids.
Yeah, I use
Android.
Podcast Addict. You can search Meet Robots, one word, and that's us. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll catch you later.
Peace.